Hey everyone, I'm Lindsay Bushing and welcome to Work in Prog-mess.
She is a work in progress, may not figure it out, but she'll do her best. Try to play it cool, but is always stressed.
But no matter what, she's a work in prog-mess.
That was good. Let's hear it.
She is a work in progress, might not figure it out, but she'll do her best. Try to play it cool, but is always stressed. But no matter what, she's a work in progress. Hello everyone, welcome back to Work in Prog-mess. I'm so happy you're here. I just wanted to go ahead and let everyone know that I've tried some things that were underwhelming, so I'm going to let you know so you don't have to. One thing about me is that I am a weenie when it comes to eating spicy things. I can't handle a hot Cheeto. I don't know. I want to like it, I really do, but I can't. My boyfriend is a big spicy food guy. But over the weekend, I saw an advertisement for Takis Ranch, and I think I've eaten maybe one Taki in my whole life, and I couldn't do it. So, but everyone always eats them and loves them, and I felt a little left out. So I was like, oh my god, not a spicy Taki. Let's see if I can do this. So I got them after work today, and I'm disappointed to report that they taste like a less flavorful Cool Ranch Dorito, which I was not expecting because the spicy Takis and the blue ones, they're like covered in red number 40 or whatever the heck they use for the seasoning, and it is like stains your fingers, stains your mouth, everything. So I was expecting the ranch ones to be coated in a nice kind of little layer of ranch, but that was not the case. It literally was less. The ranch tasted like a Cool Ranch Dorito, but the flavor did not pack as much as a punch. It was subdued. And then I also tried the Wendy's Dreamsicle McFlurry. And a thing about me is that I love a Dreamsicle. I actually want to Google what the difference is between, or if they are the same, a Dreamsicle and a Creamsicle. So let me look that up really quick. Though these terms have been used interchangeably since the start of the creamsicle, it turns out there is a difference, and it's not a typo. Both have a solid sherbet exterior, but a creamsicle technically has an ice cream center, while a dreamsicle has an ice milk center. That's interesting, but I think in this case they're used interchangeably. It's the orange with the white ice cream, ice milk in the middle. I think that is one of the greatest flavor combinations of all time. I love them so much. Alani Nu has an energy drink that is the flavor, and it is so good. I love it. So when I saw Wendy's had the Frosty, I was super excited, and unfortunately, I'm just dropping some disappointing bombs today, but it was also very underwhelming. My friend Claire was super excited about it. So when I got one, I was really excited to text her, and I had to let her know a little bit that it was a little bit disappointing, and I felt bad. But I just also felt like that flavor could have been way more. Like, Wendy's had the opportunity to make something that, like, a legendary Frosty, and I just don't think they were up to the task. I don't know, I literally was eating it and I felt like there was some kind of like sediment in it. I don't know if they used like a powdered flavoring or something, but it wasn't as smooth as a normal Frosty, and the flavor was super mild. Like, it just definitely could have tasted better. So save yourself the time and money of trying either Ranch Takis or the Dreamsicle Frosty, because they were both disappointing. Sorry to start off the episode with some disappointment, but that's life. Anyways, it has been quite a week since I last spoke with you guys. A lot of crazy things have been going on in my life, literally very crazy. First thing is, this is not really that crazy. It's just really funny. I went and saw funny. It's funny because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, bitch. You know. I went and saw Challengers this weekend, which is Zendaya's new movie. I'm a movie girl through and through. Love the movies. I'm really glad. I feel like finally the movies are coming back. Pre-COVID, I probably would go to movies like twice a week. Growing up, my dad and I always went on Sundays and then sometimes Tuesdays or another day during the week, but mostly Tuesdays. That was like our thing. And then I literally the movies like helped me become an individual who's not afraid to do things alone, because I would, even in high school and in college, I would go to the movies by myself all the time. Honestly, there's nothing better. You don't have to talk to anyone or explain anything. No one's distracting you. You get your own little popcorn and a crispy croak, which is a crispy croak. Oh God, am I gonna go into this today? I think I am. So a crispy croak, my friend termed in college, and originally we were using it for McDonald's Coke, because if you've ever had a McDonald's Coke, you know that shit literally has crack in it. I don't know what. The theory is that McDonald's has its own recipe, like a special recipe of Coca-Cola. I've also heard Disney has one. I can neither confirm nor deny because there are mixed results that I get on Google when I look it up. Fortunately, there's no place to really go. Everything's a big secret. I think maybe 4 people in the whole world know the Coke recipe or something. That's what they tell you when you go to the Coke factory in Atlanta. But anyway, we used to call McDonald's regular Coke Crispy Croak, but since then, since like college, I have become a Diet Coke girly, so now Crispy Croak is just any fountain Diet Coke. And I do have a rating system for Coca-Cola on what tastes the best, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you guys know. The Coca-Cola ranking system is top spot kind of interchanges, but I would say overall, now please remember I did grow up in Florida, South Florida. I went to college at UCF, which is in Orlando. Now I live in Tampa, which is not very far from Orlando. So unfortunately, if you have never been to Disney World or just haven't tried a fountain Coke from Disney World, then you may not agree with this spot, but I'm going to go ahead and give that number 1. Fountain Coke from Disney World on a hot summer's August day when it's 98 degrees outside and you're sweltering, and you're like, I need a drink for the line, RIP Splash Mountain, but you know, the Splash Mountain line or the Thunder Mountain line. I need to take a drink in line. I'm sweating. It's so hot. Nothing in the world hits better than a fountain Coke in that moment, or at all. There needs to be a commercial made. Coke they're missing an opportunity there. So, overall number 1 is Disney World Coca-Cola. Then we're going to go McDonald's Coca-Cola. Also, this ranking system is just for normal Coke. Diet Coke's a little weird, but I've always thought about this in terms of normal Coca-Cola. And if you don't drink soda, fucking grow up. God. Grow up. Rot your teeth. I don't know, they use it to clean things off, but yeah, get it in your body too. Grow up. Drink some freaking soda. Anyway, so number 2 is going to be a McDonald's fountain Coke. Then we're going to go any regular fountain Coke. If it's from a fountain, like it's just immediately better. Unless it's like broken and there's more seltzer than syrup, but we're not going to worry about that. So 3 is regular fountain Coke. Then we're going to go glass bottle Coca-Cola. There's something about a glass bottle Coke. You know, it's not always widely available, but that is delicious. Glass bottle Coke. Then we're gonna go a cold can of Coca-Cola. Now they have those like tall boy cold cans. I don't really like those. Something about them rubs me the wrong way. So we're gonna go regular OG cold can of Coke. So good. You have to like let it marinate in the fridge for a little bit. Like it needs to be icy, but when it's good, it's good. After that, we're gonna go. Plastic bottle, like the what is it, 16 ounces. The plastic bottles, those are not my favorite. Let's be real. Those kind of suck. Then we're gonna go mini Coke can, and then we're gonna go liter. I'm sorry, the liter is just not, that has never hit. It's always, even if I open it, I still feel like it's flat. Like, it's never just a crispy croak. It's never has me choking on the carbonation because it's so spicy you can't swallow it before the bubbles are already trying to come back up. And your ranking of these may be different if you are not a person who likes carbonation. I personally love carbonation. I love LaCroix. I love the carbonated energy drink. Like anything with carbonation, that I'm your girl. What was I even talking about? Oh, the movies. Okay, yeah. So I saw Challengers. I'm excited. It feels like the movies are finally coming back. Dune 2 was, I saw that. It was a couple weeks ago. It came out now. But I feel like movies really started feeling like they were coming back post-COVID when Top Gun Maverick came out. That was the first time I feel like everyone was in a mood where this was something that you had to see, and it was almost like it used to be where if you didn't see it, you kind of felt left out. So I feel like Top Gun Maverick really resurrected cinema. And then there have been a couple other movies to do it since then. But then Dune 2 really... Oh, Avatar: The Way of the Water, that was a good one. That I feel like definitely brought a lot of people out. Like, you cannot just experience an Avatar movie for the first time on your little TV. That is just not the intended experience. It is a piece of art that has been carefully, literally created and built for however fucking long it took them to make all these movies and everything. And the little screen just doesn't do it justice. That's how I feel conflicted about all the movies that are like straight to Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever these days, because some of them are like really good. I mean, no, they're good quality movies that I would have loved to see in a theater. I'm a theater girl. I enjoy the experience. I think Challengers is another movie that I felt like was doing that, and it was really good. I liked it, but I was telling this story because I absolutely just ate shit going up the stairs at the movie theater. It was gonna start soon, and I didn't know what I wanted to order because we went to this fancy movie theater that has like a restaurant and you can get drinks and like whatever. So, and my boyfriend knew what he wanted, so I just made him tell me, and I made him go in the movie. So if it started, someone would be there to tell me what happened at the beginning, because I hate missing any parts of it. I want to be there before the previews start because I like watching the previews, but I hate missing the beginning of a movie. So I sent him in there. Whatever, I ordered our stuff, and I was carrying like 2 things of candy, a popcorn, and 2 drinks, but it wasn't that bad because I put the candy in my purse and I had the popcorn in my arm and the drinks in my hand. But I was wearing these stupid fucking platform Croc sandals that my brother got me for Christmas that I really like. They're super cute and comfortable, but sometimes I do be tripping in those bad boys, and unfortunately that was at the movies. So I was walking up the stairs, and I was probably on the 3rd stair, and I was actively thinking, Lindsay, be careful, don't trip, like that would suck if you fell down right now. Also, row in front of me where I tripped is just absolutely full of people. So on the 3rd step, I go to walk up, and my the front, they're platform Crocs, so they're a little thick, so you know, like you gotta lift your foot up higher, I guess, to get it over the stairs or something. Anyway, it got stuck, and I literally fell over like a fucking board, but holding a drink in each hand and my popcorn, and I spilled my popcorn everywhere, and my drinks went flying, and I like looked up, and everyone was just staring at me. No one asked if I was okay. Everyone's just staring at me, and then I just picked up my stuff and ran to my seat really quick, which was all the way at the tippy top, like in the back row. There was popcorn everywhere, and I get to my boyfriend, and he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "I can't believe you didn't just see me eat absolute shit in front of everyone, and like now I can't even talk about it with you because you didn't see." And then the drinks were, I was soaking wet. We still had a good amount of popcorn, but it was like squished. The other day we were getting DoorDash, and our DoorDasher tripped going up the stairs to our house. Is not funny. People getting hurt. I used to really hate the show Ridiculousness on MTV because I have a thing about secondhand pain and like secondhand embarrassment. Like I just feel so bad for the people, so I could never watch that because it made me want to die inside. So I don't think people getting hurt is funny. But our DoorDasher tripped coming up our stairs and he delivered our Thai food. Like he fell on the foam to-go boxes that it was in, and so it was literally flat like a pancake. Like my patsy was hanging out the sides like a little like octopus arms, and they were both squished flat. But so that's what my popcorn bucket looked like. But you know, it the way it collapsed, we kept a lot of popcorn. The drinks, luckily we could order more. The movie was good. I was going to provide some like insightful commentary on it, but honestly, it was good. I liked how they used this like funky beat repetitively throughout like tense moments. It wasn't like the craziest best movie I've ever seen, but it was good. I like the people in it. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, so Saw Challengers. I think I previously said my house was the size of about a thimble. It is pretty small. It is technically a 1-bedroom apartment, but it gives more, it's kind of like a studio because technically there are no doors. Like it's 4 rooms in a row and they each have a wall, but then there is one hallway that goes through them all. And my bedroom doesn't have a door. Like it's just an arch. My closet is in my living room. Our bathroom has a door, but then it just like free flows into everything. And I honestly, this is going to be our second year living here. We just re-signed our lease. I couldn't tell you. I think we have our house laid out in the correct way, but I genuinely couldn't tell you the correct floor plan or its intended purpose because right now, my front door is in my bedroom, basically. Like, it goes, the front door, you walk in, and then there's French doors and a patio. And we made that our bedroom. Then there's a room you walk into from the bedroom. And also, you only have access to all of the rooms by going through the preceding room. So, the way I think you'll understand how I decided to organize it this way. But so, bedroom. Then it's the living room. Then it's like this dining room / office / rabbit home area, and then the kitchen, and then there's one hallway that goes all the way through. But I chose to put our bedroom in the first room, which feels weird that because my front door's in there, but I didn't want people to constantly have to be walking through my bedroom. Like if I put the living room first, then anytime anyone needed to go to the bathroom, it would be in my room, they would need to go there. Or anytime anyone needed to go to the kitchen, they would need to go there and need to go through my room, or just any other place they would need to pass through it. And I mean, I don't want people walking through my bedroom all the time. Maybe if they have to see, I would prefer that they just have to see it once they come in, and then they don't have to go through that part of the room anymore, that part of the house anymore until they leave, or they can go out the back door. Because we also have a back door in our kitchen that then goes to like the community laundry room and then out. But you have to go through like a gate with a code to get there, so it's easier if people just come in the front door most of the time. And then going back to how my house is laid out, something really scary and crazy also happened to me this week. I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to, because hopefully the situation has been resolved now and whatever. But you know, it was, as a girl, like, and a woman, you need to be aware of your surroundings. Anyway, So my front door is in my bedroom, as I said. Henry, my boyfriend, was out of town. He always hates when I do that. I do that with people in real life, and he's like, "You told me their name. Like, you don't need to every time you ever reference them again. Give me the indicator or the context clue of who they are. Like, I know. Don't worry." So I feel like I kind of am doing that on the podcast all the time because I'm like, Henry, my boyfriend, or just calling him my boyfriend, but his name is Henry, and that's his name. So y'all learn it. Anyway, Henry was out of town on a work trip, and I was home alone for a little bit. And one night, I think, what was it? Because it was like Tuesday night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I woke. I don't know what kind of like woke me up, but I think I had heard something, I don't know, but I just remember waking up, and as soon as I woke up, or as I was waking up, someone was pounding on my door, my front door. Mind you, it's glass. Like, there's glass on the front door, and then we have blinds and like a curtain, but like, it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm getting a new door. Let's just say that. More reinforced, and having them reinforce the brackets and everything. But I'm laying in my bed, just awoken out of my sleep, and someone is pounding on the door that's, I don't know, 8 feet away from me, maybe 6 feet. So someone was pounding on the door, and then I hear a woman's voice like yelling, it's an emergency, please open the door, ma'am, it's an emergency, please open the door, it's an emergency, let me in, open your door, blah blah blah. And this went on, so it's crazy. So she started saying that. She hadn't called me ma'am yet, but I like stood up because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, someone's banging on my door. Like, it was my instant reflex just to like get up and be like, what the hell? And I don't know if somehow she saw me like through the window or whatever, and then started calling me ma'am and was saying, ma'am, it's an emergency, please open the door, please let me in, it's an emergency, let me in, please open the door. But the second I heard her call me ma'am, I was like, what the fuck? And that kind of went on for maybe 3 minutes, and I was just honestly kind of frozen, and every horrible possibility was going through my mind, and I didn't open the door. It was like 3 minutes, and I didn't open the door. I just stood there. And then it's so weird. And then I just heard her stop knocking, and there's like a metal gate out right in front of my door outside. I heard her open the door. I heard the gate close. I heard her open the gate. I heard it close, and then she just walked away. I was frozen in my spot, so I didn't look out any of the windows or anything to even see what she looked like or anything, just because I was so shocked. But then she just left, and I called the police, and because here's why I feel bad, because that was really scary for me to be woken up out of my sleep. Like, that's my bedroom, like, it's just someone's there, they're screaming. But also, I didn't open the door, but I didn't open the door because I don't know if that's something bad out there is going to happen to me also. Not even that, just in my head immediately I was thinking, well, what if, I don't know, this is what I'm saying about being a woman. What if that is a sex trafficker out there or something, and they're like using this girl, or it's like a trap of something. They're gonna rob me, like they're using this girl to knock on the door. I open the door, and then someone fucking comes in and like so many horrible things that could happen. And I was home alone and I wasn't comfortable opening the door. I did call the cops immediately after to report what happened, but also to be like, this girl was asking me to help her and open my door, and it's the middle of the night and it's pitch black outside, and I live by a bunch of like businesses, not really houses or somewhere that people, I don't know, like there's a park across the street. I don't know what could be happening if she's really out there and something bad happened. Like, I want her to get help. So the cops got there within 5 minutes, and when they got there, they looked around the area and there was no one there. There wasn't any indication that anyone was there. And then I think they hung out for a little bit. He just was like, okay, make sure your door's locked. Like, bro, obviously my door's locked. And then that was it. They just, that was it. And that is what is weird to me. I just don't really. It's weird because it just feels sus. Like, it just feels wrong. Like, there was definitely something going on. I mean, I can't speak to how I would react as if I was that woman and there was a situation of something bad going on. It was an emergency. I needed to like get in somewhere, but I didn't hear this girl go to any of the other doors in my complex. We live in like a building of 8, but there's one across the hall. There is no one that lives there, but I don't know how they would know that. And then there's 2 easily accessible upstairs. Like, there was no attempt to go and knock on anyone else's doors. I woke up and like right when she started knocking. So there was no like other disturbance that I heard beforehand. There was no one out there when the cops got there. If, like after I wouldn't open the door, she just stopped making any noise and just like went out the gate and then left quietly. I don't know, like maybe would still be screaming, like, or there would be some other commotion, or I don't know. There's just so many odd things about it. And, I told some of my friends about it and they also agreed that, it was sus vibes. I actually called my mom like not while it was happening, but after I called the cops, I called her. And she was like, yeah, good thing you didn't open the door. But it's scary. I mean, even just as a human, like, people can get broken in on or whatever. But then especially as a woman, like, that adds another layer. Like, my boyfriend, like, he might have just opened the door, like, he's not thinking that he's gonna get sex trafficked or like someone is gonna do something bad to him. Like, there's just kind of another level of fear to it, I guess. I don't know. Was it a coincidence that they knew I was here alone or whatever, that my boyfriend wasn't here? Like, nothing like this has ever happened before. What are the odds that the one time I'm alone, so it's just like a lot of strange things that were going on. I'm glad I called the cops for if anything happened to the girl, but then also, it's on the record. I'm really annoyed at myself because I literally have a Ring doorbell sitting. Now it's up, but I had a Ring doorbell sitting on my bedside table in the box that I had gotten, and I just hadn't put it up yet. Really pissed about that, because if I had that up, then I could have, if maybe the scenario wouldn't have gone on at all, but then if it did, then I would have it on video to know what the truth of it was and who was actually out there. That's another thing that upsets me. Like, I don't really know who it was. Like, it just is a weird feeling situation. But, that Ring doorbell's up now. I got a taser, and we're getting a new door, and getting a lock on the gate, and crossing our fingers and our hearts that this never happens again. Because it was so fucking scary. And then I literally couldn't go back to sleep for the rest of the night. Like, that, I went on my couch, and then thank goodness my boyfriend came home. Like that was his last night away, and then he was home. Um, that's what I'm saying. Like he had been gone for a little bit. Like it was like a longer period of time. Like he was gone for a while. For the first time ever. And I wonder if they like noticed or something. I don't know. Um he came home that night, but I made us sleep on the couch for 2 days because I was like, I'm not fucking sleeping in our room, not until I feel safe. At least like my doorbell's up and like the hinges are reinforced or whatever. No. So, it was scary. Got lots of gadgets to make my door impenetrable and new locks and things. So always make sure your doors are locked. This is not a crime podcast, but I do know I have listened to many crime pods in my day, and so many of these things happen just because someone didn't lock their door or their window or whatever. So that is the best defense is offense, baby. Is that saying? Just lock your doors. Get an alarm system. Be safe. Get a Ring doorbell. There are some really cute purposes for Ring doorbells too. I think I saw, I think it was on TikTok. I saw it was, this couple that was expecting their baby, but it was like 2 weeks late or whatever. Like the wife was pregnant, and every time they walked by their neighbor's Ring doorbell, they'd be like, "No baby yet, whatever. No baby, no baby." And they did it like 8 times, and then it shows them coming back, and they do have the baby, and they show the newborn baby in their Ring doorbell, and that was a very sweet moment. So, hopefully I'll catch some of those things on my Ring doorbell, and not someone trying to steal me from my house. So, let's all pray on that, okay? What else? Oh, I'm going to the F1 race in Miami this weekend. Woo! Only because Henry's friend works at something to do with it, so we got free tickets. Otherwise, I'd probably not be going. But I'll let y'all know if I see Alex Earl and we become best friends, and then I can be on Hot Mess and she can be on Work in Prog-mess. So yeah, that should be fun. But anyway, so today I need to get my laptop over here because I kind of like made a lot of notes about what I want to talk about today. About what I want to talk about. Why am I so redundant? What I wanted to really talk about today is kind of just the phenomenon of social media and technology and its place in our lives, and kind of where I want this podcast to fit in on that, and also just some thoughts I was having on the subject, I guess. I don't really know. But kind of like social media, and then it's, like the real life consequences of a world being so interconnected and being so involved in other people's lives, and the mental like toll that it takes on your psyche to, I'm sure everyone has heard people say this before, but there is just absolutely no way our brains were meant to be in contact with technology and getting this so much information and data thrown at you all the time, but then also seeing everyone in the entire world's life, and then having that as your basis for comparison when it comes to kind of comparing yourself to people on the internet, or your lives, or your achievements, your looks, your jobs, your personalities, just everything. And how I think that negatively affects, at least that has negatively affected me and people I know. And I just think it's really interesting. So I'm just going to read like my rough thoughts of what I wrote, and then we can kind of dive in on this topic more. What I wrote is so silly. I said, the world has gotten too big for its britches. Our consumption of media in other people's lives has gotten so out of hand. I know people... This is like what I just said. Do you remember your brain and life before social media? Before the morning internet scroll? Before being 15 and stressing about getting the perfect photo for Instagram and then nothing ever being good enough? Somehow becoming so incredibly aware of how you looked, act, talk, think, present, of who you are, that maybe you begin to lose who you were in the first place? These are just the thoughts I have at work. I'm like, what should I talk about on the podcast? Let me just jot these down in a Google Doc really quick. There's so many typos. So yeah, that's a good place to start. I have recently been trying to limit my internet consumption, specifically in the morning. I've definitely go through phases where I delete apps off my phone all the time because I just get so overwhelmed by everything. But, I always find myself reaching for my phone and then going on like Instagram or TikTok or something when they're on my phone in the morning, like the second I open my eyes, because I'm just kind of in that state between, okay, I'm awake and I actually have to get out of bed. And I do not like at all that has become just an instinct for me to do that mindlessly. And what I am like exposing myself to, literally from the moment I open my eyes, and I'm doing it subconsciously. The thought, to think about it really, like the thought of literally waking up and then immediately within the first minute of being awake, okay, maybe that's, like the first minute of being actually awake, not when you're still waking up, rubbing your eyes, whatever, you lay there for a second, but the first minute that you're using your brain consciously, I get exposed to like 40 people on TikTok or whatever the fuck they're talking about in their lives and whatever. And that's just within the first minute of being awake. How much are you watching the rest of the day? Even if you're not consuming that much, like literally consuming that the second you wake up is insane. And, I wish I could say I didn't do that, but sometimes you fall into the trap of, just like a routine or whatever, like you're doing your morning grind. Like I'm like, watching TikTok before I have to get up and take a shower, like makes me happy or whatever. But, so then you start doing it a bunch, but in actuality, like I have realized for me, and I think probably for other people too, it is not a good way to start off the day. So I have been supplementing that for some like morning meditations, which is nice. I think part of my problem is I really need like stimulation. Otherwise I'm going to fall back asleep. Like I can't hit snooze. Like that always leads to problems, like I think I just want to be awake, but I literally like, sometimes you just can't get up yet. So you need something in the middle. So, now I listen to a morning meditation or I put on like a thunderstorm or something. And I just need something else kind of with me there. And that has been helping me not do that, but it's definitely a conscious effort. Like I instinctually go to grab my phone in the morning and I have to be like, Lindsay, don't do that. Let's, do something else with this energy that you want to use on your phone. And I just think it's honestly insane that we are to a place in life where that the first thing I am reaching for in the morning is my phone. Like that freaks me out and I don't like that and I don't want to be that person. Okay, then I said before being 15 and stressing about getting the perfect photo for Instagram and then nothing ever being good enough. Yeah, it's like I can remember when, I got a phone way too young. I got it for my 10th birthday, but my parents did not get it for me. My Nana surprised me with it. So, but it was like a flip phone or whatever. So, I don't know if you guys have seen the thing on the internet. Like the internet used to be a place. It was a computer in your kitchen and when you sat there and logged on, that was the only time you were on the internet, and then you left, and it didn't follow you around all the time. It was still like an activity rather than an all-consuming lifestyle and habit. But yeah, so I got a phone pretty young, and then I remember like joining Facebook in 5th grade because my friend had a Facebook, and I went to her house and I saw what wizardry it was, and then I begged my mom, and then I begged her for months and months, and then I think at like my 5th grade graduation time, she was like, okay, you can have Facebook, but obviously supervised, because at this time, as I just said, the internet was a place. But, you know, when iPhones start coming around, and then we have stupid apps, and then things like Instagram and whatever start coming about, and then you're able to follow all the people that you went to school with, and you kind of form this little online community. But then all of the sudden, you go from knowing only things about your friends' lives, people that you were friends with lives, and like what they told you or what you saw when you hung out or whatever, to now you're going to maybe seeing more than just your friends, acquaintances, people that go to your school you might not even know or actually talk to you, but you know of them or something. And suddenly your pool of comparison, at least this was my experience, like, this is a subconscious experience that I'm also having, right? Like, I didn't realize this at the time. This is me reflecting on this. The pool of comparison is bigger. Now I know all these people, and instead of just comparing myself to my 5 friends or something, not that I should be comparing myself at all. I'm just saying how, like the teenage girl brain works, and how people inherently compare themselves to one another on social media, and that's just how it is, because it's hard for people to not. Like, that is an active choice you have to consciously make, and when you're young, you don't really understand that if it isn't presented to you. And that was definitely not the mindset I was in when I was a kid, and just social media was becoming what it is today, You're getting to see more intimate details of people's lives that you don't know. To get sidetracked for a moment, this is also, I don't know where I heard this either, but it was kind of how the dynamic of getting jobs and getting hired these days is so different compared to what it used to be, because the applicant pool is just so much bigger, like LinkedIn and all this technology. Why do I sound like an old person when I talk about it? I'm like, all this technology, just all these online places, like marketplaces for jobs, open up to applicants literally across the entire world. And I feel like before, it was generally more contained to the region you were in, or maybe the country. Like, now I can apply for a job to be a lollipop lady, lollipop lady in Australia. That was really bad. I'm sorry for that. Like that's the person who holds, I think that's a crossing guard, or the person who holds a stop sign. Look it up, it's really cute. In New Zealand, they call coolers chili bins. That's really freaking adorable. I feel like America we don't have adorable names for things. Anyway, you can get a job and apply for a job anywhere in the world. So every job is open to all of the best people all of the time. So it makes it so much harder for people to kind of be like, yes, let's promote from within, or let's invest time in teaching this person, because I can always find someone to do it better. And I just thought that was really interesting. So that's kind of like the same thing with in a non-professional sense with your normal life. Like, that was just so many more people to start comparing yourself to, and seeing their lives, and just, as a human, then innately comparing yourself, whether you're doing it on purpose, in a self-deprecating way or not. And, as social media and technology has grown, this has just only been amplified, and now it is also the same, and I'm able to see the lives of, I don't know, for like a posh British lady that is rich and lives in the UK or something. Like, and I'm like, oh, fuck, why am I not doing whatever? I don't know, maybe because you're not the Duke of York's daughter or something. Like, just like stupid shit. That was a very extreme example, but literally you have unlimited, almost unlimited knowledge to people's like intimate details of their lives, and just so many more people than you would in a more natural environment, I guess, without technology. And I just think, oh, there's a mosquito in my house. I just think that is crazy. And I know that before I realized that's what I was doing, or that, you don't even realize that it's really impacting you. You're like, I don't know, why do I feel shit about myself? And it's like, because I'm comparing myself to the almost 8 billion people on this planet now, rather than the 200 kids I went to high school with or whatever, or the 1,000 people that graduated that were in my graduating college class, or, just like some other less extravagant form of comparison. Like, it truly is. So I think genuinely the way like our brains work on a physical level, like I just think we genuinely cannot kind of comprehend that. Like, I think technology is evolving faster than our brains and like the human emotional responses and things, like we can be as smart as we want and create things, but then all those things have consequences that weren't intended or we are unprepared for. And I just think, I don't know, our mindset has not maybe evolved yet to be that interconnected. Maybe. Or I just made that all up, but that's how I feel about it, and it helps me feel better, because I mean, there are so many people on this planet, each having their own very individual life. Like, obviously, any number of things that are possible are going to happen because there are so many people and there are infinite scenarios to be played out. And so obviously your life is going to look different than other people, and I think we have to really stop trying to put ourselves on the level of other people at all, because your life is so individual and every circumstance is so personal to you, and there are so many things out of your control. And I just think it's like comparing apples to oranges. Like, and for a long time I didn't understand this, and it's just always, why am I not good enough? Why can't I do this or whatever? And it's just like, dude, give yourself a break, because you are the only person that has ever lived your life. And what is my story, and what is my life and my circumstances. And some things are just not going to happen for you or in the way you want, or they are. And, there's a lot of people out there. Some people are just lucky. They have amazing lives, but also you don't know what the fuck is actually going on behind what is portrayed on social media. Anyway. Okay, then I said somehow becoming so incredibly aware of how you look, act, talk, think, present of who you are that maybe you begin to lose who you were in the first place. And what I mean by that is how we have all, people, what is it called? Like LA face or something? No, I'm not shitting on anyone. This is just a cultural phenomenon that has been observed, from an anthropological perspective. That's what I'm stating, okay? That people get procedures and everyone starts to look alike, how many things have you, and obviously before I even go into that, there are people that have always been individualistic and were not affected by things like this. But for me, this was something that I was affected by, growing up, and how you kind of changed yourself and maybe something you did or something you wanted to wear or about your personality that you changed or toned down or something to make yourself fit into this growing image of what I don't know, something that's also undefined, just what you end up thinking is cool on your little corner of the internet and who you're currently comparing yourself to. Um and then eventually, like, how much, with the amount of exposure we have to social media now, how much have people, I'm not even saying all this in relation to me, just in general to the human population. I think this is interesting. Like, how much are you changing to fit that narrative that you're writing in your head about what social media is telling you is cool or who's cool or who everyone wants to be like or this generalized person, I think the more a lot of people in the general population compare themselves to one another, the more we kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I keep wanting to say we have then this, it's just like the commodity of what a person should be. Like there's like this, like we're all a widget. You're just one like replicant of another, and we kind of lose all individuality and uniqueness. I don't know. That's just me, but that's what I was meaning by that. Then I said, kind of to go off that, we have ended up in a place where others' thoughts and opinions about things and even ourselves mean more to us than our own. I am a people pleaser. And, maybe in another episode, I kind of want to go into that, even just not even specifically into me, but just into the psychological perspective and some factors that can lead people to being a people pleaser or something. I kind of want to not only talk about things that affect me in my life, but also, or, that we can learn about all the ways that it can show up in people's lives. And I don't know, I want people to learn stuff from this podcast too. Like, we're working Prog-mess, we're working on things. We want to maybe recognize things in ourselves that we need to work on and tendencies that we would like to self-correct or whatever. So maybe sometimes we'll talk about some things that maybe I don't personally, it's not a personal struggle, but it is something people struggle with and can relate to, and we will discuss those things in like a well-researched manner and format. I have a lot of very exciting ideas for the pod. But okay, what was I saying? And even ourselves mean more than our own. Oh yeah, so I'm a people pleaser. So a big part of that is taking what people think of you as being more important than what you think of you. Like, I want to make people happy, and if they're unhappy with me, then I'm a bad person, rather than like it is their fault or something, or I'm just, like I'm always catering to other people, going off of what they want instead of not thinking about what I want, or it's not what I want, or just, I just feel like in people pleasing, like a lot of it is putting other people's feelings and whatever before your own. But then I also think that's reflected in social media, like creating kind of what people think of you online as like your worth in real life, and how what people say about you online or the people you compare yourself to becomes more important than what you find validated in yourself. Then I said, this is not true for everyone, but I think definitely there are people that are genuinely out of touch with themselves, sometimes me included. Like, I wouldn't say all parts of me, but there's definitely some things I do that I'm like, why am I still doing this? Or why do I think that way? And you need to like really sit down and kind of go through these things with yourself, and get out of that get out of that mindset. More and more I can observe the outlandishness of the way life has come to be and the role social media has to play in it. More and more. I don't know what I meant by that. The outlandishness of the way life has come to be. Oh, I think I mean by that just the I saw this video that was like a picture. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a screenshot of another video that was saying, someone asked a question like, how are you don't care what other people think about you, and then the girl's response was, I think you're thinking about yourself way too much. And this video then said, oh my god, that like unlocks something in my brain. And I think for some people that are very self-conscious and self-critical, me at times in my life, definitely, it's true, we are thinking about ourselves way too much. And in terms of what other people think about us, how we're perceived, we're all caring so much how much we look to other people, but then in reality, other people don't care that much because they're just consumed with how they look. Like no one actually, the judgment that we fear is not really there. And so I just think the outlandishness in terms of the way like we're a lot of people, and just social media is like so much performance of our lives for people who want their social media persona to be like reflected in their real life, and just trying to make their life look as wonderful as possible. And obviously this is just something that I think is like I've noticed, and I'm not judging anyone for doing that, and I have fallen victim to all of these things or participated in them myself, or have been impacted by them in some way. So I'm not saying, it's not coming from a judgment point of view. It's just something that I think is interesting. And then what else did I say? Honestly, I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up today. I've been talking for a really long time, and I don't want to make this a super long episode, but I think next episode I'll just pick up on this a little bit of, we'll finish this off on like what else maybe I have to say, and then I'll talk about something also. I talked a lot about a lot of nonsense at the beginning of this episode. I don't know if you can hear, but my voice is literally gone. I haven't really talked this much since I filmed last week because I was still recovering from my wisdom teeth. So I am parched and my voice is going away. But thank you so much for listening to all of my nonsense. I literally could go on forever, but I actually want people to listen to this and not be like, holy shit, that is long as hell. I'm never going to make it to the end of all her gibberish. So yeah, thanks for listening. Cringe alert. Leave a 5-star review if you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, give me a like, comment. Someone on YouTube asked me to do a Q&A, so I was like, oh my god, I'm so successful. Someone's asked me to do a Q&A. So, if you have any questions for a Q&A, leave a comment or like send them to me or something. DM me. I don't know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to my literal jibber jabber. I appreciate you all so much. Oh, I've been making a Pinterest board for each episode, just with things that relate to the episode, like pictures, general vibes, links, stuff. So you should check that out. And I also am thinking about, I made it. I haven't done anything with it yet, but a Substack, which is kind of like, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I would use it, but kind of like a blog and just like a place for all my stuff. So, if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and check that out too. I'll put the links in the the descriptions or whatever. Oh my god, I keep hitting my lamp. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.